Hello, everyone. Mando Collectibles here with another live stream episode 26. And today is a very special day. Not because it is live stream episode 26, it's because I have this awesome panel tonight with Aries from Cisco Cantina and my friend Desi from Metamorphic Custom. Aries, my friend, welcome again tonight.
It's good to hear. It's good to be here, baby. We got some coffee that we already spilled today. We're going to keep spilling it tonight. Come on.
Yes, we can wait. And of course, Desi from Metamorphic Customs. What's up, my friend?
Thank you, Dante. As always, great to be here with both of you guys. It's awesome. Do we have anything to talk about? Did any of them release? Yes? No?
No. I think this is gonna be short and sweet. Maybe we're gonna keep it for another 5 more minutes, and then we're gonna wrap it up. There's really nothing else to talk. Nothing really happened, and
I should cover.
All right, guys. So thanks for watching. I think this is it for us. We just wanted to show up for. I'm just kidding, dude. Are you kidding me, bro? Man, I was like in the middle of the night. I woke up. I'm like,
yeah, man.
What?
There it is. Yeah.
Wait, what? So we have finally Din Djarin, aka Mando, with Grogu, with a swoop bike, with a head sculpt.
Yep.
Man, I'm like, damn. So, guys, we're gonna talk about a lot about that, beautiful, beautiful release, and of course, you're gonna hear our thoughts about it. What do we think? We're also gonna talk about, now with this release, what's gonna happen with the other Mandalorian figures? It's a shakeup in the market. What's gonna happen? Do you want to sell yours? Do you want to keep it? We're going to talk about that as well. We're going to go very in deep about the Mandalorian because this head sculpt is, me personally, I like it, but I have my mixed feelings about it. We're going to discuss that as well. And obviously, I wanted it to talk about the potential releases. What's coming next for Hot Toys. And last but not least, if we have the time, we're going to talk about the Third Party Fiesta. So we're going to talk about awesome figures that are coming up, third party, of course, and the closing points.
Listen, I might not be able to handle a Fiesta, but we're talking about what we got to talk about here, baby.
Hey, listen, you are the.
I might be too drunk on coffee.
Dude, you are the bartender. Where's my drink? Where is my drink, man?
We can all use a drink.
Put it through the screen here,
man. That's not right, man. I need a shot. I need a shot of something.
Listen, we're gonna serve up all the Din Djarin talk.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of it.
Is a lot of it. But before we start, as always, I need to say hi to everyone on the chat. Starting with my boy Will C. A huge shout out to you because he gave me really good ideas for the topics tonight. So, Will, my friend, my boy, thank you for sharing that information. So, we're gonna talk about a lot of things thanks to your guidance. My friend Lewis is in the house. Sinister, Throne, Braulio, the Big Daddy, Combat Involved, H Green, Eric, Patrick, Jay-Z, Single Songwriting in the house. Doug Smile, we have Deadly Arc, Ninja Squirrel, Paul Morales, Penny Wiseman, Captain Trips,
man,
everyone else.
The house is full.
House is full, man. House is full. So, all right. So let me do my warm up because we're gonna start this show. All right, guys. Are you ready to talk about Mando?
Absolutely.
We are ready. So we're gonna talk about Din Djarin and Grogu panel thoughts. So, all right, I'm gonna start with Aries, because everyone is looking for your reaction. Everyone wants to see you spilling the coffee. So my first question is, do you have your coffee with you?
I actually don't have my coffee with me because it's too late and I'll get too many heart palpitations this time of night, with this kind of release. But you can rest assured that this morning, I got my coffee. Okay. I brewed my coffee and I had it in one of those closed containers so it'll stay warm. And then I had it in my cup so I didn't have to go back upstairs real quickly. And I went and sat down. Okay. Was getting ready to go into work and I turned on my other computer and I saw this and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, baby. Look at this. And I'm putting all that coffee in there. I had to make sure that the keyboard, didn't get the water on it and all that. But Yeah, man. I mean,
Whew.
look,
I know,
dude.
I know.
This is awesome. Chrome plated, #1 chrome plated. This is an outstanding release. Head sculpt. You got Mickey Mouse, excuse me, Grogu. Another one.
This Grogu or this Grogu?
Look, and look at that deluxe. You get Boba Fett's helmet, Boba Fett's jetpack. You get Boba Fett's armor in there. I mean, I tell you what, this is you got the Boba Fett, the worn armor version, that deluxe set. You got the Ahsoka, and then you needed the two. You needed this with the Pedro Pascal head sculpt, and you need the Luke. Man, that Luke's going to go really good with this here. But I'm telling you, this release, man, is very exciting to me. Chrome plated really sells it for me. Grogu is awesome. The extra accessories with the deluxe, and what I'm impressed with the most, is that when you get the non-deluxe version, if you don't want the Boba Fett armor, you could spill your coffee, baby, because they're giving you the head sculpt with the non-deluxe version. Good on you, Hot Toys. And they didn't make me buy a swoop bike, so good on them twice. Yeah, I was happy.
Desi, we had this release coming out of, I mean, we called it many streams ago. We spoke about this, same with Aries. He called it as well on his channel. We were talking about the possibility of having a Pedro Pascal, a 2-pack or some type of head sculpt, and it happens. Your thoughts, my friend?
This is great. I mean, it's not unforeseen, but let's just remember that all they had to do was get the same Beskar Mando, give it a head sculpt, and put out the same thing. And that's not what they did. They completely changed most of the accessories, added new accessories. You got a head sculpt. You've got chrome-plated armor now. This is what a re-release should be, or it's not a re-release. It's essentially, it's not, you can consider an upgrade. It's a completely different figure.
Mm-hmm.
New accessories, a new a head sculpt. It's a new TMS number. It's new packaging. It's everything. But the old one is still relevant, right? Because as many people that like the chrome plating, some people will not like. Some people just don't like chrome plating. So some people will still like the old one. And the old one still has accessories that this one doesn't have. Perfect release, in my opinion.
Very interesting release. And before we continue with the pictures, because I have a lot to talk about this figure, guys. So you know me, I talk a lot. Aries, Desi, we always talk. We always give you our honest opinion, because I think it's important for you guys to know what we think. By all means, you can disagree, because that's the point. We can talk about everything we think it is valuable to you, and by all means, you can take it or leave it. But before we continue, I want to acknowledge with Combat Evolve with a $2 bomb. Thank you, my friend. He says, which Beskar is accurate to the show? I need facts. So let's start with Desi, since he's the artist here. Which one to you is accurate to the show?
In terms of like shape and whatnot, I think they're both accurate. Of course, this one, the one that's out now, is season 1, end of season 1, because of the thigh pad and everything. And then this one is season 2. But just shape and molding wise, I think they're fairly accurate for 1/6 scale. As far as which color one is accurate, none of them really. But that's fine. They're both close. Which I'll get to later with what I plan to do with mine. But they're both very close. This one is just chrome, right? And the old one is just like, okay, well, the closest you can get to that color without being chrome. The only thing that these two both have is the undersuit, the jumpsuit, which is a little too gray. Should be a little bit more brown. Doesn't bother me too much, but that is there. So, and let's not talk about the base.
Trust me, I'm gonna talk about the base. I'm gonna talk about the base, because you guys know me by now. How many times I complain in my reviews? Hot Toys, you're giving me the same base again and again and again and again. Aries.
That's why you got Metamorphic Customs, baby.
Hey, you can customize it. Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on,
that's true.
Yeah.
So what about you? What about for you, Aries? Which Beskar is accurate to the show? Which one?
I'm
Which
actually not
one?
going to argue with anything that Desi said. I actually agree, and he's the artist on that perspective with everything um, that he said there. One of the very interesting things that I want to point out that he brought up actually before, which I actually did not consider, is Desi, you were mentioning that this is not a reissue, and that's very interesting because now when I'm thinking about this, and you got the chrome plating and you got the differences there and everything that they did. I mean, this is almost like a separate release, like almost like Return of the Jedi Fett,
Mhm.
comparing it to Empire Strikes Back Fett.
Yep.
So, when you really look at it that way, it's like, oh, it's another Mandalorian, it's another Din Djarin, it's another one, it's another one. It is quite different. But I think it's fairly accurate for me. The and everything that Desi said there, the chrome plating for me, because I know from watching the show that the Beskar armor is this really superior, it can withstand the blasters, it can withstand so much. So the fact that this is chrome plated, just for me inside my brain, makes me gravitate to this release more, because it's like, oh, chrome plated, it's going to feel more metal. It's going to be, have that less plastic feel, having that chrome plate in this. So
Mhm.
I'm like super, super excited that they did that. I did not expect Hot Toys to pull this out and to do that, but I think it's a brilliant move. And for me, it's worth the money for the chrome plated. I like it.
Yes, yes, I agree with you guys. I think this release is very interesting. Yes, I mean, I think this is more accurate to the show. Just because I don't know, for some reason, the Beskar armor to me, the previous release, the head was a bit smaller. I don't know if it's just the I guess the way it was painted or something.
Mhm.
It's just my illusion. Was it, Desi? I think it
Yeah.
was a bit smaller, right? I mean,
Yeah.
not like a small like a Beetlejuice type of this
No,
little
but
tiny
it's small.
head, but it was just a slight smaller than the OG Mando.
Yeah, Hot Toys suffers from that a lot in heads. Period. Sometimes they're just too small, and that's kind of like a scaling thing. It looks more heroic scale when you do
Right.
that. That's normal, right? But you're right. You're not wrong. It is. I don't know if this one's going to be better, to be honest.
No. Yeah, no, I'm not saying that, but no, I
Yeah.
think I know. I think my personal me, Dante talking. I think this one is gonna be more accurate to the show because I mean, based on the proportions that I've seen in pictures. Again, guys, let's remember this is a prototype. Everything can change,
That's
for
right.
the good or for the bad.
That's
So hopefully
exactly
it's for
right.
the good. So far, what I see, I like it. I think the Hellscope is a bit off the expression on
Mhm.
the eyes, which we're gonna talk later. So don't worry about it. But that doesn't mean it's horrible because by all means, it is not. It is not. So let me just be clear. So Combat Evolved, thank you, my friend. I hope we answered your question. So let's keep going and talking about Mando because this is the
So
topic of the
much
day.
to
I mean,
talk about with
it's so
this.
much to talk. The first thing I have to say, if you guys watched my figure preview early this morning, actually I woke up very early to do it, so I deserve a kudos, because I did wake up
Right on the
early.
back.
Thumbs
there.
up.
Yeah,
Thumbs
yeah.
up.
No, trust me, it is hard on a Friday after your brain is so fried after having a brutal week at work. Waking up so early to do the video, I did it because I wanted to do it for you guys. But two things that caught my attention besides the Haskell, because that's the selling point. We know that's the thing. So the first thing was the Dark Saber, which I think I passed it right. I kind of like this Dark Saber. I like the paint application. I think does look nice. Um, you know, the spear, obviously, because this was a tease in one of the I think was the Dark Troopers, right? He was teased with the spear. Obviously, the shiny paint on the armor, that's a huge thing. I mean, the weathering pretty much a bit better, personally, in my opinion. But another thing that caught my eye, and this might be the silliest thing ever, was a wire cape. So we have a wire cape, and this is a good. I mean, I know it is really. Hey, I'm gonna buy this figure because I want to have a wire cape. I mean, come on, really? You're gonna buy this figure because of the head sculpt. I mean, that's what it is. But I think to me, this is the small attention to detail that we were asking Hot Toys to deliver, right? Because sometimes they do upgrades, they reissue figures or whatever, but they usually keep it as is. They don't add anything extra. In this case, because technically this is a repaint, right? Because everything was repainted, same armor, pretty much.
Mhm.
And besides the Hascope, which is another topic, but then the wire cape, that's a good thing.
Mhm.
The other thing that I noticed, and I actually also mentioned it in my video, is that looks to me that this one here doesn't have the fat suit. Look at the baggy, how baggy the pants are. I know it's very minor. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm wrong 100% because hey, I'm human. But I think they're trying to improve this figure in some ways that people can say, hey, what was the complaint about all the Mandalorians before? Oh, the fat suit because it limits the articulation. The cape is not wired, and this and this and this and that. They're listening.
Mhm.
And the show that Easy and myself had the other day, the 6 scale unfiltered, we were asking Hot Toys to listen to the fans because we are the ones who ultimately buy this figure. So I'm gonna go back to my friend Eris. So now that you see that this figure was finally announced
Mhm.
and released, so now we have the Mandalorian and Grogu, and then we have a regular version as well, which doesn't come with the Boba Fett jetpack and helmet. But do you think, and I don't know, do you have Chirrut by any chance?
I don't have Cheerin.
You
I
don't
wish
have
I
Chirrut.
did. It's
Okay,
too expensive, baby.
and
If someone
I
sells
know
me
it
for
is.
300,
I mean, I have I have
Same.
I, know. I was lucky enough to get Chirrut, but the reason why I'm asking you is because the helmet that came with Chirrut, you can actually use it if you have a loose body without a helmet. You
that's
can
right.
actually
It's what
use
they're,
it.
yep. Mhm.
Now, do you think we're gonna be able to use this helmet and backpack? I mean, the backpack, I think we're gonna be able to reuse it if we have a figure we want to customize. But what about the helmet? Do you think you're gonna be able to use the helmet with another figure? Like maybe like a customize or
Is
do
it
some.
possible?
Yeah, what do you think?
All right. First, I just want to address something that you said real quickly. I think that this figure, that this release does two things. Besides Hot Toys listening to fans, I think the other reason why you don't have the fat suit with that Mandalorian is because they're really trying to increase the sales of the Moff Gideon. And with that armor and those poses they're showing, they want you to go ahead and have that battle scene so you start buying the Moff Gideon. That's what I think. And then the head sculpt is really, 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 and they actually put it right in their promo photos for that ending scene, which is why Luke is going to be coming very, very shortly. But to answer your question, I just wanted to go ahead and say that. To answer your question about the Boba Fett, I'm going to do something for you here. And
Okay.
actually, he's ringing me right now.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
It's the Hot Toys Wizard.
Ooh. Okay. Answer it.
Wizard. Yes, I know I'm live. Thank you for watching. I much appreciate it. Really? You're kidding. Okay, I will let everybody know. I will let everyone know. I appreciate the call. Thank you, Wizard. Excuse me? Oh, you're going to go drink now with Qui-Gon in the Nether Realm? You're going to drink away your FOMO, your fear of your FOMO. All right, well, go ahead and do that. Okay. Bye. All right, I got information from the Hot Toys Wizard. Let me plug this back in my ear so I can hear you guys. Can you pull up that image back on the screen,
Sir?
Dante?
Of course. Of course.
I'm going to say two words from the Hot Toys Wizard, and you guys will know when you're looking at that helmet and you're looking at that jetpack. And I mentioned in how many shows that they're going to use those molds as much as they can and as quick as they can. And the Hot Toys Wizard has just said something to me. Cobb Vanth.
Yes. Desi, I have to go back to you. But before I go back to you, Fabio, my friend, thank you for joining us tonight. Fabio was supposed to be here tonight, but he's a busy man and he's traveling the world. I'm just kidding. He just have some stuff to do. So hopefully next time he'll be with us, my friend Fabio. Desi, going back to you.
Look
do
at
you
that
think?
figure, guys. It's got everything. It does. One of those pouches must have like the kitchen sink because he's literally got everything. But, like seriously.
Looks like he was kicked out of his house, and he's just he's like, oh, I'm out.
bought too many Hot Toys. So no, it's just look. This looks amazing. I'm excited to hear about Cobb Vanth a little bit. Hopefully, hey, that'd be interesting to see if we get a head sculpt of forget the actor's name, but that would be awesome.
That's Timothy Oliphant, and
There you go.
it's your turn to talk, but you're the artist. Think about it. I mean, they can use the Han Solo body or something. I mean, they have all this armor. They're already giving you this armor in here. And one of the things that I've been pointing out is they're going to find a way because they're to use that mold.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just going to be if they decide, because they might not give you a head sculpt, which is fine. It's still a cool figure even without the head sculpt.
Even without it, yes.
Everybody's going to want it, of course. So do I. But I'm just saying, there's many possibilities there. That would be so great. Another one.
Yes, and before we continue, we have 91 people in the stream right now. So guys, please don't forget to like, because liking this video helps a lot. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Area 6 Cantina. Forget to follow my friend Jesse at Metamorphic Customs, and of course, subscribe to my channel. Come on, please subscribe, because we have a lot of things coming.
Subscribe, baby.
Really soon, yes. Episode 2 of the 6-gallon filter is coming very soon as well. We're working with Easy to get all those details, so stay tuned for that. Episode 1 was a huge success. We didn't expect that to happen, but it was.
Great show.
So I think we got a lot of things, a lot of good topics, and we have more information about reissues. And the next topic is actually going to be about reissues. And there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be reissued that you guys will be surprised to hear. So stay tuned, because episode 2 is coming soon. Stay tuned for the details.
But Dante, let me ask you a question, because you originally asked me, and we went off a little bit, although it's very related. It's tied in. What was your impression when you saw that, the Boba Fett helmet and the jetpack and those little packs there? I mean, I was very, very excited, and I do think you will be able to use it.
Yes, my first reaction when I saw this, I actually said it on my video this morning. If you are really good like Desi, that you can customize things, and I mean, you can definitely, if you can actually use it, right? But even though even if it doesn't have the connection to use it, you can actually adapt it anyway.
Yeah.
So you can do a lot of things with this, and that's a good thing though, because a lot of people might buy this because obviously they like the character, but also because they can customize it as well. And they can do their custom figure for that. What was the name of that person? I forgot. For the cop, when they met this guy with his armor.
Timothy Oliphant, Timothy Oliphant, Cobb Vanth.
Yes. They can definitely do that. I mean, they have pretty much, I would say 50%, right? The jetpack and the helmet does pretty much 50% of the armor.
They just need a head sculpt, and they're probably going to bring Timothy Oliphant back in. But if they bring him back in, he's not going to be wearing this armor.
Right.
So, they can come out with that figure, and then they can come out with something in the future. Who knows? But I also think it'd be cool. Like, how like they give you some of the helmets, like the Stormtrooper helmets that are finished inside.
Yep.
Right.
I think that would be really cool with this, because I'm not sure the deluxe Boba Fett's going to come with that finished look, because you're going to, or maybe it will, but
yeah, maybe not. I hope we're wrong, because usually when they have those details, they will show it to you. Say, hey, look, right? Sergio's in the house. GEMIITOYS in the house. He said Chrome is more accurate, but both versions have their charm. I agree. Both versions. I mean, I love Mandalorian. I really like the whole line. I don't care if you're gonna give me 50 Mandalorians. I'm gonna get all of them, because that's the show that basically put me back in the love with Star Wars. When I saw the sequels, which is a topic for another video. It started to kind of like good with the Force Awakens. That actually wasn't that bad, but then it started like. So I'm like, all right, I guess Star Wars is just said, right? And then boom, the Mandalorian came. Perfect move. So yes, Sergio. But as long as both have their charm, I'm happy with it. I'm very, very happy. But now now that we're talking about Din Djarin, and I think we're gonna expand a lot because a lot of people have questions, a lot of people, had the thoughts about it. So, the figure is actually pretty good. I liked it. And one thing that caught my attention is obviously the how shiny this figure is now.
Yeah.
And as you can see here on the left, this is the best Mando. And looks to me that this is basically the same figure, just repainted.
Mhm.
That's what they
Yep.
did. They show before and after.
Yeah, it's a repaint.
It's a repaint. That's for sure. But to your point, Desi, this is the way. This is the way that you need to do a reissue. Just add something extra, and then pretty much the same figure. But hey, you put a head sculpt. That's not a reissue anymore. That's a brand new release.
It's a lot
Yeah.
extra.
Yep.
Right? What do you think, Desi?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was trying to say, right? You've got a new model number, you've got a new head sculpt, you've got a repaint of armors, you've got new armor parts, plus all the added accessories, even in the non-deluxe version. So forget about the Boba stuff. Like you've got plenty of accessories there. A new Grogu, right? That didn't come with the old version. That this is another Grogu sculpt, right?
Mm-hmm.
What can you, if you've got this one, this is still great. I still love this figure. I'm not selling it. It's awesome. You can customize it. You can leave it like that. It's different enough. And I'm probably going to get the new one too. Different posing. Yeah. You need a figure for the swoop bike if you're getting that, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yes. And another thing besides the details, right? We have an extra edition here, different paint
Knee
application, knee pads, obviously the armor on the legs and all that. I mean, we know that they have to do something different, right? But besides the accessories, the helmet, and of course, the Grogu, which Grogu Mania is happening. I mean, like Eris mentioned in one of his live streams, this is gonna be the new Mickey Mouse, pretty much. Grogu is everywhere, so don't be surprised if you see a bunch of releases with Grogu, because that's gonna happen. That's a fact, because a cute character too. I mean, come on, you gotta give it to Grogu, right? But the amount of accessories this figure comes with. Now, the other day we were talking about, when Ahsoka DX was released, and the quality of the suit and all those intricate details, right? The tailoring and all those things. Technically, this figure doesn't have that much of detail because it's pretty much a reused body, reused armor, different paint application, with addition of the dark saber with the spear, obviously Din Djarin's head sculpt, which is the selling point of this figure, right? But the price is a bit stiff though. It's like about 375, I believe, or 350.
Mhm.
It's more like a deluxe price to me. But technically, this is a deluxe figure because it comes with so many accessories. So, Eris, just going back to you again, what do you think about the price? Do you think the 375? I'm gonna look for the price actually. It is, a good price for this figure. Do you think?
330 for the non-deluxe and 375 for the deluxe.
Okay, 375 for the deluxe, 330
Yeah.
for the regular.
Yeah,
Okay.
330.
So what are your thoughts about the price? Do you concur with the with the price, or do you think it's a bit pricey?
Well, I think all the hot toys are a bit pricey. Let me go ahead and preface what I'm going to say with that. I mean, when you're in this hobby, I understand that we sometimes it's hard to see it go up $5, $10, $15, but that was bound to happen again with COVID and inflation and time. Nothing is going to stay the same in that regard. And
Right.
and you're seeing it with not only Hot Toys, but so many of the toy lines, such as the Black Series. The Black Series now don't sell for what they did 3 years ago. They certainly don't sell for what they did 6, 7 years ago. But anyway, no, I don't. I mean, the chrome plated is. I would imagine, unless Desi, when we get to him, he would have. I would think that adds to the price, the fact that it's chrome plated, not chrome painted, but chrome plated, and it has that to it. So no, I don't have a problem with everything that you're getting with this figure.
Right.
The 375, I will admit, did catch my attention, but when I saw an extra Boba Fett helmet, and I saw a jetpack, and I saw him standing on the stand with Grogu, that picture where he has everything. I don't have a problem necessarily with this. I think you're getting into Iron Man money with Din Djarin now, where Boba Fett has not, and Darth Vader has not gotten in there. But I really don't have a problem with what they tried to do here. Like I am very impressed. I did not expect at all that they were going to chrome plate the armor. And I'm going to have a talk with the Hot Toys Wizard and why he didn't give me any heads up that was going to happen, because I'm very disappointed in the Hot Toys Wizard. But I like this. I don't 375 is steep for any figure, but you are getting a lot.
Yes, you are. And before we continue with Desi, we have 106 people. Again, we broke a record. Guys, please don't forget to like. Liking this video helps a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Aries from Cecil Cantina, my friend Desi at Metamorphic Customs. He does amazing dioramas. I did a review about it, so check it out. Yes, Desi, 375 for the deluxe, 330 for the regular, without shipping, without taxes, obviously. What do you think? The price?
Look, it's steep, but like Ari says, it's Hot Toys. You're gonna pay a premium. But let's look at 330, right, for the non-deluxe. Think different views, right? Different perspectives, point of view. Think about, a lot of people are like, oh, they should have just released an accessory kit. What's the last accessory kit we got? Probably the one for the Mark 50. How much was that?
Yeah,
it was $200 something.
Mm,
that was several years ago that it was announced.
Yeah.
If they would have announced it now, then accessory kit with all the chrome-plated armor, so what you would get with the 330 version,
Right.
just the chrome-plated armor accessories, the knee pad, that maybe the little pack with Grogu, that would be well over $250. That would probably be $275. So think about it that way. You either pay $275 for the accessory kit, which you're not going to release, or for $330, you get a figure to put all that stuff on.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So that's how I think.
No, it is a good point. I mean, they added a lot of things, even for the regular version. Obviously, everyone want to get, probably my assumption is, the deluxe, because they're gonna see, or they're gonna have the Boba Fett head sculpt and jetpack, right? That's a really cool addition, in my opinion, right? Because Boba Fett it's an icon.
But Dante, if they really wanted to throw a whammy at you, they would have only included the head sculpt with the deluxe. Remember when they issued that Boba Fett Mandalorian deluxe, and you could only get the Tamora, the Boba Fett in the robes. With the deluxe, you can't get it separately. I'm actually very impressed that they went this route and bringing up the swoop bike again. I thought everything was just going to be, okay, I'm going to have to buy the swoop bike, even though I think that's awesome, but I don't collect vehicles, at least right now. And I'm going to have to spend, this much money on this figure just to get the head sculpt. But I don't have to. And now you don't even have to get the deluxe to get the head sculpt.
Right. And I have to say something, because Will, I was talking to Will C earlier today, and he said, like you mentioned, Aries, this is gonna be like Iron Man, pretty much. They're gonna abuse this figure for sure. They're gonna have so much, potential versions of this figure that is gonna be crazy. But before we continue talking about that, I wanna talk about the head sculpt of this figure, which, if you watched my video earlier this morning, I said that I like it, but I have mixed feelings about it. I think it is a bit off, I guess, the expression on the eyes, or I think it is too sad, looking at this picture, Jesse, going back to you, since you are the artist here. So looking at this picture, and then looking at this picture here, right? This is a sad face, right? Because he's crying because Grogu's leaving. But then we have this look, which I think they would have done this one instead of this is too sad for me. I don't know. There's something on the eyes. I don't know if it's just me, but again, to be fair, this is a prototype. The final product is gonna be the one that we're gonna judge at the end of the day, right? So what do you think, Desi?
So no, I think you're right. I think there is something off with the eyes. I immediately noticed it when I saw it. I think it's the eyes. It could be something else. You know, I haven't looked at it that long. It could be the mouth, but right now I'm thinking it's the eye area, the nose bridge area, just the general size of that and the shape. It's a little off. But when I say that, that's not to say that it is bad. In fact, I would say if they change nothing, I think it's, I don't like to say, but I will. Look, it's good enough. It's representative of the actor where somebody will say, oh, yeah, that's Pedro Pascal. I got it. Right. And this is all, when you're talking head sculpts, I was mentioning before we started the stream, it's all very personal and subjective. You know, when I may look at Qui-Gon and Krennic or Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and say, look, those head sculpts are great. And somebody else, a lot of people said, well, no, they're completely different than a prototype and I don't like them, you know, where I think they're good. And then I look at Bo-Katan and I'm like, whoa, way off. And somebody else says, like Aries, you like Bo-Katan, right? This one is one of the ones where I'm like, this is good. Like, I'm all right with it, even though I know there's something off with those eyes just by looking at them.
Yeah, Rob, what do you think, Aris?
You know, and I didn't get a chance to watch your review yet because it's but I can't wait to. But so I know we talked offline of some thoughts. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. I like the head sculpt. I think it is right on. I look at it as there's not another commercial licensed company that's even going to come close to what they did right here. And what I've been seeing, especially with Star Wars, is they are improving the Star Wars. You know, you talk about the Rey, you talk about the Kylo, you talk about so many figures that come out. They're actually making them look better for the most part when they come out. And you can rest assured that Hot Toys will nail this with the final production. They will be sure. But I think there's two things going on here. I'm going to bring it up again. When you look at this head sculpt, I think this figure has two very specific purposes. This head sculpt is to definitely depict the finale, the ending scene with Din Djarin and Grogu, and also with Luke Skywalker and Grogu. So to have that sad expression is what they're going for. They weren't looking for the expression where he had that mud trooper or whatever that outfit was with the other actor there, which is phenomenal. I love that figure as well. I think that'll be a separate release. That'll be more like let's go. This one is meant to be somber. It's meant to be doldrums. It's meant to show that scene. And then the other part of it, this is not meant to really be seen with Moff Gideon. That's why you've got the flowing cape. They didn't give you the wire stuff on this cape to display with Grogu and Luke. They gave it to you so you'd buy that Moff Gideon and set that up, baby, with that. So I really think that the head sculpt is for one reason and one reason only, to be there with Grogu, whether he's holding it and Luke's looking on, or Luke's going to hold Grogu and Din Djarin is looking on, and then also to pose with Moff Gideon. That's what I think the purpose of this figure is. Dante, you're on mute. You're still on mute.
I know, I'm mute.
There you go.
No, actually it was because the train was passing by. So my thoughts is that I like the figure overall. I mean, obviously it was not to like about this. Yes, I agree with Desi. This is a representation of Din Djarin. I mean, this is what we were looking for. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. I mean, you're not going to have a head sculpt 100% perfect. It's always going to be something. It's always something that it is not 100%, right? That's a fact. If not, then just clone a person, right? And do a figure out of it. It is impossible. Will I think this is going to improve with the final production? I think yes, absolutely yes, because they cannot f this up. They can't. They cannot afford to screw this one up. So, and if you watch my 6 scale and filter, where we were talking about the issue with the Hesco with the Mark 85 and the extra care that they're taking with the QC and the way they're releasing the figures to make sure everything is going the good way, they definitely going to nail this. So far, I like what I see, and I'm very honest. What's not to love about this figure, right? Now let me somebody says something in the comments that was actually pretty funny. The Big Daddy said COVID price.
That's true.
It is true. I mean, they're just trying to make their money, man, with all these releases. And right now, I feel like we are collecting pre-orders rather than actual figures. Um, but before we move on to the next topic, I'm just gonna say something real quick. Expect a very busy Q4. I'm gonna leave it there. Expect a very busy Q4, and your wallet better be ready, my friend. Better be ready. That's what I heard. So we're gonna be a very
Absolutely. I talked about it in my video that I put out yesterday that you're going to have a busy second half of this year, and and I pointed out also, how many figures that they've come out with in less than a year, which is 19. But there was nothing slated for the fourth quarter of 2022 yet. You got a few in the third quarter of 2022, but now here's your first one. This is the first one. Dante, you and I talked about this over the phone. This is the first one that falls into the fourth quarter of 2022. You're going to see another handful of figures very soon that are going to fall in that bracket, and a couple of others in the third quarter. And then you're going to see a slew of them for the first half of 2023 this year.
Yeah, no, yes, and more is coming. More is coming. So you're gonna see a lot of announcement coming very soon as well. So I'm gonna talk about that a bit later in the video. So Desi, now let's move on to the next topic, which is the transport trooper. Right? Is that next? I saw somebody who made a meme with this Din Djarin Hesculpt on the transport trooper. And now that we have the Din Djarin Hesculpt, now that they finally announced it, do you think there is a possibility, or maybe a teeny tiny chance, of Hot Toys releasing a transport trooper with the Din Djarin Hesculpt, just for the sake of making the extra money?
Yeah, why not? It's again separate release, right? Because it's one with a head sculpt, so they can totally do it. Why not? This is the first one I'll probably be getting two of the transport trooper, right? Because I want one with the helmet and one with the Din Djarin sculpt. That's probably what I'll be using the sculpt for the transport trooper. And probably trying to source a custom Bill Burr sculpt there. This is my favorite episode of the series so far. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it is a good opportunity, Aries, to maybe not get one transport trooper, but maybe two transport troopers. What do you think?
You have to wonder, is it possible?
Ooh.
And I say no. Now, I'll tell you why. I think, from my perspective, if they do this with the transport trooper, it will hurt the transport trooper worse than what it is. And I don't think, while they're competing with other Mandalorians out there, I look at it as, it's kind of like, how many Darth Vaders are out there? And you look at the couple of Boba Fett's. This, though, with a head sculpt, would compete too much with the release they just did. I actually don't see. I see a few more Mandalorian releases, like the Cobb Vanth, and a couple of other ones, which I've talked about, or we can get into. But I don't actually think that they're going to go ahead and do this. I think that they would venture into a different. I think they're going to pause on Din Djarin. I think that they're already wondering what's going to happen with, or these sideshows wondering what's going to happen with those Beskar Mandalorians that are in stock. And I know we're going to get in that later in the show. I don't see this happening in the short term. I don't.
What you just said is a good point. I just brought it up because, I was thinking, at this point, anything is fair game. And now you mentioned competition, right? Technically, Hot Toys is competing to themselves, right? Which we're going to talk about that later. But I just want to show you guys this Hesculpt that JC Young posted on his Instagram page. Maybe it's the lighting for the release figure for the announcement, but this one looks actually much better. Somebody pointed that out in the chat that this one looks actually much better than the actual picture of the promo pictures, right?
It does.
How that's been the story
It
all
does.
year, baby, with this stuff.
It does indeed. This does look better. Again, not perfect, but I mean, we're really getting nitpicky here because this looks great.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And again, when we have it in hand, when we do the unboxing and review, we're gonna give you our honest opinion about the Haskell. But this is actually pretty good. I mean, it's really not bad, or it's not like this is the worst. No, it's not. It's not. Um, I think they're going to the right direction, and I can see that they put an effort to try to make this as good as possible, right? So that's a good thing, I think. So now that we talk about the competition, right?
Mhm.
So
Competition is good
competition is
most
good
of the time.
most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yes, most
You're
of the time.
right. You're right. So now we're gonna talk about the Mandalorian aftermath. So a lot of people start getting their Beskar Mandos, right? And we've seen a lot of people that have mixed feelings about this particular release. Not because they don't like it, is because, hey, I just got my Beskar Mando, man. Come on. So what is the? I mean, I can understand because now when you mention about the transport trooper that you don't see it possible that Hatos will release one with the Din Djarin's head sculpt, but maybe instead you can get the Din Djarin Mando Deluxe with Grogu and use that head sculpt to use it with the transport trooper so you can complement. And we
They just
talk
did
about
that,
this,
yeah.
right?
Right. There you
We
go.
talk about this all the time to complement. Previous, all the releases have some accessories that they don't belong to them, but it's a complement for another figure. So that's why people get it. Um, do you think that the move of Hato is of announcing this Mandalorian figure when they are still selling, and when they just literally just announced the OG Mando with the blurg, a good move by Hot Toys?
I think it's a great move by Hot Toys. I don't think they're they're the ones that have the best Scar Mandalorian in stock. I think Sideshow, and they're the ones that have it in stock. Here's I will tell you that when I saw this morning, like most everybody else here, it did cross my mind. Ooh, what's this going to do in the biggest mover section? What's going to happen, with these figures? And I do think competition is good, and I think that's it's kind of like you can both help each other and to catapult up in some cases. What's going to tell the story here with the deluxe and non-deluxe Beskar Mandalorians is first and foremost, how is that going to be shaken up in the bestsellers wise on Sideshow? So it's going to be very telling over the next month or two. Those two have been king. They have been above everything virtually. And you get a Marvel release or a this release or a DC release or a Star Wars release, and they always just go back to number one. And you have to wonder what's going to happen now with this particular release, which I feel personally is superior in many, many ways. Now, I think that's going to tell a story. I think those figures that, when you look there, how long they're going to stay in stock and how far they're going to go down now will also dictate if they go down. What's going to happen in the secondary market. Now here's the kicker, and Desi brought this up. And while I'm thinking all this through and listening to the comments today, and the first thing that went on my mind was, what's going to happen to those figures? It is a different figure. The Beskar Mandalorian is different than this figure. And it represents a different time in the Mandalorian. And the Mandalorian is hot. And people don't have patience. how much do we talk about patience, patience, patience? People were spending $400, $500, up to $600 on that deluxe Beskar Mandalorian just like a few weeks ago, everybody. Just a few weeks ago
Mhm.
on that figure. And you've got to wait for this figure until the end of 2022. So I am not totally convinced that those figures on Sideshow are just going to plummet now because of this release. And actually, when you look at it right now, besides Hunter, the first four figures are all Din Djarin. Din Djarin is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's hilarious. I never thought that the deluxe Beskar Mandalorian was going to be super high in the secondary market simply because the numbers are outrageously high. Outrageously high. The OG Mandalorian is the one that's going to be high in the secondary market. But it's going to be something we have to keep an eye on. But looking at Sideshow, best-selling wise, and seeing where it goes and how long it sits in stock is going to tell some of the story.
Right, right. Jesse, do you think this was a good move by Hot Toys to release or announce this figure while they're still pre-ordering and selling those OG Mando with the blurk, the best Mando? What do you think?
Yeah, for several reasons. I mean, at this point, we knew it was coming, right? We kept seeing pictures of it, and they've been known to release a figure when there's an existing version of that same figure still in stock, right? We got to remember one thing. I mean, do we know if they're sold out of the current Mando, Beskar Mando in Hong Kong?
I haven't heard anything. I don't think it's sold out yet.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't think
they don't really care.
they produce a bunch. Yeah, they're not a Marvel. I'm sorry, it's Star Wars. I guess base. They're
Yeah.
more Marvel.
Yeah, it's one of these like, hey, this is becoming like Vader, Boba Fett. It's probably best to always have a Mando in stock. And like you said, this isn't coming out until what, the end of 2022?
Yeah,
Like there's
October,
people,
December.
yeah. I mean,
Fourth quarter.
as we've all been saying, come on, Dark Side Anakin, he's going to get re-released, but there's people paying $800 and $1,000 for him right now. I don't blame those people. There's two ways to look at it. I won't do that, but I can understand saying, hey, I've got the money, I've got the budget, I want to pay it, and I want this figure now. Same thing for the current Beskar Mando. It's like you want it now, you don't want to wait 2 years. Well, this is a really good figure, so
Yeah.
does it hurt it a little bit? I'm sure there's some people who are like, oh, forget it, I'll just pre-order this one and I'll wait 2 years. I can wait. But I don't think it's gonna. The first Beskar Mando is eventually going to sell out, right?
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and Jesse, you're not going to put this chrome plated Mando with everything that it comes with IG-11, really, are you?
Right, exactly.
I mean, yeah.
yeah, great point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all depends, right? I mean, obviously, business wise, it's a good move because you're gonna have more money. You're gonna have pre-orders for sure. But I don't know if this was too soon. I think they should have just at least wait a little bit to see at least the best Carmando go waitlisted at least or sold out, so they can start with this, because now people are gonna probably hold off on the OG Mando with the blurk, but at the same time it could be a strategic because they're going to produce less of that particular figure. So that means that when sold out, it's going to skyrocket in price because people who likes to have the whole collection are going to be looking for this particular OG figure. But now with this Din Djarin or Mandalorian with Din Djarin Hellsculpt, I think this one looks really good, and I think this is going to help a lot the pre-orders that, according to my sources, has been a little slow for Hot Toys. That's why you start seeing a lot of announcements coming, because they want to see what's gonna hit. They're feeling it. They're starting feeling it, because obviously the pandemic doesn't help either, right? And we're
Help anybody.
slowly exactly.
Yeah.
So we're slowly getting back on track. So that's why you see a lot of pre-orders. That's why they're backed up trying to complete all the projects. So that's why you see all these things. But I'm gonna stay with you, my friend Aries, and I'm gonna ask you this question. So if you're a new collector, right? Because we need to be in the shoes of new collectors, or senior collectors, and I guess mid-level collectors, right? That just started maybe like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, but new collectors, right? Or in general, if you have a Beskar Mando right now in your possession, right, and some people don't like to have multiples, and it is fine by all means, absolutely fine. And you need to watch your money and make sure that you have the budget to afford other figures. But if you have the best Mando right now, right, you just got it a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
So what should I do with my previous Mando figures? Should I sell them? Should I, because I seen a lot of people jumping crazy selling their figures. It's like, damn, like I'm selling it. You know, do you think people should sell their OG Mandos or Beskar Mandos because they want to get this particular figure?
As Obi-Wan said to Luke Skywalker in A New Hope, you should do what you feel is right, of course. I'm human. One of the thoughts that went through my mind this morning is, what am I going to do with my Beskar Mandalorian? Until I looked more and more into the set and saw how different it really is. And I think that it's a very viable option where there's going to be, for a lot of collectors, if you don't need multiple versions of, a Beskar Mandalorian versus this chrome-plated one from season 2, I think that is a very good idea to just go ahead and just sell your Beskar Mandalorian, especially if you've got the patience to wait really to, between October and December of 2022. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I think to answer that question, to give people advice, what's in your heart? Mm-hmm. If you really have that, if you're like, wow, I really don't even want this anymore, I really want this and I don't want them both, then by all means, you should do what you feel is right, of course. And guess what? That is right, because that's what your heart and your spirit is telling you. However, if you're attached to the Beskar Mandalorian on the other side of the token, because you liked everything with IG-11 and, the very ending of season 1, the beginning of, whatever, season 2 or whatnot, there's so many different scenes and there's going to be so many different versions of Mandalorian. You can go ahead and do that. I've talked to some collectors that they like the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett. They like the Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett. Some of them are like, oh, I like the Empire Strikes Back one better. I'm going to go ahead and sell my Return of the Jedi one. And some of them are like, oh, no, I'm going to keep them both. So I think you need to do what fits right. If you're not attached to all these Mandos, and it's not like a character where you really want the multiple versions, I think that person or that collector that's in the chat or watching this video just answered their own question. But if you are a Din Djarin aficionado and you really love the different versions and want to build your collection on these different versions, then you've also just answered your question. It's going to be basically whatever floats your boat, and do whatever you feel is right, of course.
Right. Desi, what do you think?
Basically along the same lines. If you're one of those people that I only want to have one representation of every single character, you don't need more than one or don't want more than one, then you have your answer, right? You may not want to sell your one until this guy comes out, right? Because you're not, this guy doesn't come out until the end of next year. But you kind of have your answer. Now, there were some people, for example, I was talking to someone online that was thinking about selling the figure. They don't even, Beskar 1, the first one, they didn't even have it yet. They're going to make their last payment. They're about to receive it. And he's like, oh, should I sell it? And I'm like, well, you're going to wait a year or so. Like, it's up to you, but I wouldn't. I would want representation of that character in my collection now. So that's what I would do. But hey, you do you. And, I think he said, yeah, okay, well, I'll just keep the one that's coming. He had already made almost all the payments. So I was like, well, you're going to lose money. Well, you're going to lose your NRD. So don't do it,
Yeah, and that's a
And,
good point. Yeah, go ahead,
mhm.
Aris.
No, I think that there's something that Desi's bringing up over there and something we have to consider. And how many of my shows have I mentioned that don't buy these figures like it's bars of gold or like you're investing in your 401k?
Right.
I can tell you right now, I am not totally clear on where this Beskar Mandalorian is going to be in a year, in 2 years, or when the this chrome-plated Mandalorian season 2 Mandalorian comes out. Right now, it would seem like the market is flooded. Right now, it would seem that you can go ahead and get these figures on eBay all day and get them at Sideshow. Is it possible that these Beskar figures can go the way of some of the Jet Troopers, or the Sith Trooper is probably a better example, a little bit under retail?
Right.
I mean, you may get more for it now than you will in a year. So if the thought is, or in 2 years, to hold on to it because it's going to be worth more, then I'm not too sure. To me, I'm not too sure. It's not concrete as to where this is going to go. I will say this. You can look at Darth Vader. There's versions of Darth Vader out there. You got the A New Hope Darth Vader. You got the Empire Strikes Back version of Darth Vader, and then you got the Darth Vader in the with the Tarkin 2-pack, and you got the Rogue One Darth Vader. The Rogue One Darth Vader sells very, very well. The Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader is obviously really hot right now and getting hotter.
Right.
But the A New Hope Darth Vader is not all that hot. And is it possible that this Beskar Mandalorian might fall in that category? You don't know. I'm not convinced this is going to be like Return of the Jedi Boba and Empire Strikes Back Boba. We'll have to see. But my point is we really just don't know. So again, don't invest in these thinking, oh, it's definitely going to be, or the non-deluxes, they didn't make many of those. That's definitely going to be a very sought after. The OG Mandalorian is more of a shoe-in for that.
Especially the main character like Mando. There'll be another version after this one.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a next version, right? But I think to answer that question, and also to address Penny Westman comment that says a lot of people are going to be trying to sell Beskar Mando right now. I think people will be underwater right now since it's still available at retail from Sideshow. Yes, right. So like Eric said, whatever you feel that you want to do, it is right. Whatever you feel, it is right. Nobody can tell you otherwise. Is what you think, you'll do it. If you want to buy it from us, if you want to sell it, I will probably wait a little bit. Not just right, because remember, this figure is coming up next year. So we talk about like next October or December, and see how Hot Toys is doing right now with the delays. So you might get that figure early 2023, because remember, they're doing a head sculpt, so they don't want to f that up. So they're gonna take their time to make sure is good. So if you want to sell the figure, your Beskar or your OG Mando, I will probably, I would not sell the OG Mando, me personally, just because it is the first figure from the line. It is the first character we've seen, and the value for that figure is gonna increase over time. Not now,
hot, baby. Yep.
but it's gonna be hot. But if you want to sell your Beskar Mando, which by all means is fine, I will probably wait until at least hit a wait list, and then you can just boom sell it. At least so you can get your money back, right? Because you don't want to lose money, right? If you get your money back, you break even. You're good to go, right? If you make extra, that's perfect also. So always think about that before jumping and selling. Oh, I'm gonna sell everything. I'm gonna sell. I understand. So when you need it, you sell it, right? Whatever, whether you're gonna lose money or not. But if you can wait until at least this figure goes waitlisted to sell it, boom, sell it. But that's our humble advice for that. So moving on to the next topic, guys. This is a very interesting topic. I mean, this Mandalorian figure came out of nowhere. Even though we knew that this was about to happen, it was just a matter of when, and that when was today.
To the future.
Pretty much. So it was a really good announcement. Very happy with it. Usually I get disappointed with announcements because we had a couple reissues back to back, but now with this one is something new, something different, new. But with with the head sculpt and all that. But now that we've seen that the with this release, now the Star Wars market is shaking a little bit, because obviously, like Danobi said, and by the way, shout out to Danobi because he's in the show as well. He just made a comment. Shout out, my friend. Thanks for joining us tonight, Danobi. Too. Um, is the Star Wars market shaking now, Aries? Because we have this Star Wars figure, right, Din Djarin, and we know every time that a new figure comes out, that Nobi said it in his live streams many times. He said it when he was in my show, your show. Every time that a new Star Wars figure come up, you expect to have that one to be the number one trend, right? But usually it is, and then drops, right? Because it is a good figure, but it's not like a Mandalorian. It is not like a Ahsoka. It is not like a Grievous, or hopefully one day like a Mace Windu, right? That is gonna break the internet. Is gonna be like boom. Do you think with this, Aris? Do you think that the Star Wars market is shaking? And I'm gonna share the screen of the current situation of the Star Wars figures right now, so you can maybe have a better I guess a better picture, but let me see if I can find it first. um you can start. What do you think? Do you think the market is shaking with
Well,
this
while you're
release?
pulling that up, I'll bring up the secondary market first. No, I don't. In the secondary market, I don't think so. And what you're going to pull up, yes, but in the secondary market, there's always ebbs and flows. And you get some figures that trend up and trend down, and then you get some surprises, and then you get some figures that rise up for a specific reason in anticipation of figures that were released like that, and then you get figures that trend down because of that. But when you factor in like the dark side Anakins and the Jyn Ersos and the Moff Tarkins and all the original trilogy figures and stuff like that, no, I really don't see. I see it to be pretty much the same as it's been. You got figures trending up and figures trending down. You got some figures that were hot, that were kind of like the Mud Trooper, and some figures like that really started to come down to earth because of all the new figures, and I expect that. But you're not going to see that happen with like the Jyn Ersos and the Chirrut Imwes and the Dark Side Anakin. You're just not. But you're going to see some different, like, if they reissue a figure, you'll see some dips. But anyway, you want to talk about this market. And right here, yes, that's right. I mentioned this a few months ago, that what you were going to see in March was going to be completely, almost a 180 by the time we get to June. And you can look at this right now and see, wow, this looks completely different, except when you look at the Beskar Mandalorian, deluxe and non-deluxe, that we have just been speaking to. What's going to shake up here is it's going to be, as I've mentioned before, very, very interesting to see what happens with the Beskar versions of the Mandalorian with the in-stock ones. I think you just have the pre-order ones here, and that's fine. That's going to be, I think there's going to be some shakeup there, but maybe not as much as we think. But like I said, that's going to tell the tale. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Moff Gideon, because Moff Gideon becomes far more appealing now when you factor in this particular release. Also, the Dark Trooper, even before we get Luke, he gets far more appealing now just with this release of the season 2 Mandalorian with the Pedro Pascal head sculpt. It's very, very, very interesting. So I think you're going to see perhaps some differences there, or it'll be interesting to see if we do see some differences there. And the other thing that I think is going to be interesting is the Beskar Mandalorian figures were so high near number 1 for how many months and months and months and months, and of course over the OG Mandalorian. Is it possible that this new release is going to stay at #1 longer than the Ahsoka did, longer than the deluxe Boba Fett did, longer than, Echo did, and where Hunter is right now. And I don't have a yes or no for you on that. We're going to have to keep an eye on it because we do have a lot of Mandalorians in the market. And
a lot.
He is becoming iconic like Boba Fett and Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be very, very interesting. But that's my thoughts right off the bat.
Right. And what I think is going to happen, I mean, obviously this is a unique release, right? Even though, yes, it's a repaint of the body, but we have a new head sculpt, and that itself is a new thing. And look at how the regular version is trending. I guess people is saying, you know what? I'd rather save, $45 and get this one without the extra accessories because I can live with it, which is fine, right? Uh, you're gonna get a figure with with Din Djarin's head sculpt. But before we go to Desi, we have 106 people watching right now, so please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, don't forget to subscribe to Aries' channel, to Metamorphic Customs. My friend Desi, he does amazing diorama bases and anything pretty much you want. So please don't forget to like, because liking helps a lot. And I think we broke the record a while ago. I think we got like 109 people before.
Let's go, baby. Hit that like button.
So yes, let's hit the like button, please. Let's do it. Desi, moving to you now. So you see that there are changes, obviously. Every time there is a new announcement, every time there is a new release, the market shakes up a little bit, right? Not like, oh my god, this is gonna break the internet. This is, but yeah, I mean, you can see now Mandalorian solid #2. Probably it's a matter of time that they're gonna be #1.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a shakeup there?
Yeah, I'm surprised that Hunter's still at #1. I was expecting him to be #2 or 3 behind Mandalorian, right? The new ones, but hey, that might happen in the next few days. Yeah, a bit of a shakeup, but nothing. I think we can pretty much have expected this coming, right? Every time they release, like you said, a new figure, they're going to quickly go to #1. That's why I'm surprised that this one's not #1 and Hunter's still #1. But not too shocked here. I'm more surprised that Quill and the Blurg are at #5 still. I expected that to go down just because of the price of the figure. But yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Just to piggyback on that, and that's what I was thinking as well. I thought that these two guys are going to be trending down, but actually it seems to be, again, this is just only Sasha website. By all means, this is just this page. Looks like guys trending up. It's coming up. And now let's see where is the OG Mando with the Blurg. I think it's probably like
crickets.
Right. Look at this. And this is a normal, and this makes perfect sense because you just reissue a not reissue, you just pretty much announce a OG Mando with the Blurg, but also you just announce a Quill with the Blurg, which people are gonna go by this because a lot of people have already the OG Mando, so really they don't need it, and they can just kill one bird with two birds with one stone, buying the Blurg and the Blurg, a Quill and the Blurg and the new Mando. So that's what I was saying, Aris. What do you think?
To me, almost Quill and the Blurg is like deluxe, and Quill by himself is not deluxe. That's almost how I look at that. And nobody seems to really, a vast majority of collectors are not really seeing Din Djarin and Blurg melt. The Din Djarin that people wanted was what you're seeing right here. With Grogu, with the ending scene, being able to battle the Dark Trooper, being able to battle Moff Gideon. So yeah, I'm not actually surprised about Quill, but is it possible now when you're talking about these trends, if you put that back actually up on the screen, Dante, real quick, that how you had that sorted out, with Quill trending as high as he is, and Quill in the Blurg, there is a huge demand right now. The Mandalorian is hot, and the Book of Boba Fett hype train is going to start all over the internet, all over Disney right now, and you might as well call that Mandalorian season 2.5. So when you're talking about characters like Cobb Vanth, or a character like Casca Reeves that will help elevate that Bo-Katan, or the Frog Lady, which I brought up last week. It's not too far out, and you get another Grogu with that, with the egg set. When you look at Quill and how good that's doing, you're like, people are scooping up these Mandalorian figures. What I want to see, though, here's the difference. We're all excited about this release, and notice that nobody's talking about, really, and I want you guys to understand this point. Where's Bespin Luke? Where's Bespin Han? Where's the Return of the Jedi Darth Vader? Where's Mace Windu? Where's this? Because Din Djarin is hot, and the head sculpt is hot. He is an iconic character now. So they got away with this. What they need to do here is we need Luke. We need an OT figure. We need Padme, as you put it. Mm-hmm. We need some of those figures to bring the balance up, because this is hot and no one's talking about it. Notice this.
Bring balance to the Force.
You release a few of these figures, and then all of a sudden, then you go ahead and give us Cobb Vanth or Frog Lady. They're going to scoop that up like crazy. That's how this will work.
Yes. That's actually a very, very good point.
Pull this off. Go ahead. Yep.
And this is the time that a lot of people are waiting for. So let's talk about. We're gonna continue with the Star Wars, but let's talk about what you just mentioned. So you recall that when the Dark Trooper was released or announced, rather, we had a tease of Luke Skywalker, right, with the blue with the green lightsaber, right? So I was told that this was supposed to be a release for May the 4th, but it didn't happen, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that it won't happen. So same way when we called it about the Din Djarin's head sculpt and all those, this figure that just was announced, when we say something, that doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, like Monday morning is going to happen.
Yeah,
it takes time, because,
look at Rex. Time. Rex got delayed. That could have been the reason the Luke was delayed.
Exactly. So, and I mentioned this before. So right now, this is the debate, right? Are we going to reissue or re-release, Bespin Luke, or are we going to announce Mando Luke? So this is the dilemma they have. Which one should we go first? So to me, and this is, I know Mando Luke is going to happen. For sure it's going to happen. Absolutely 100%. I can sign off on that one if you want. It's going to happen, right? Bespin Luke, I will say it is 95% possibility that that's going to happen. And the reason why I said 95% it's going to happen is because I'm not sure if it's going to happen this year. It might happen next year. But basically what they wanted to do was, okay, we're going to release Mando Luke, and then we're going to wait, and then we're going to release Bespin Luke. So now, I think we should start to get ready to see Mando Luke coming soon. And I spoke to one of my sources this morning. They didn't call it. They didn't say, no, it's going to happen like right now. But they told me this guy should be coming, fingers crossed, before December. And I have a feeling that it is probably going to be announced in the months of maybe, like Aries pointed out in his video, Q4, by the end of Q4, to make what you just mentioned on your video, Aries, that they need to make a certain number of pre-orders for next year. Mm-hmm. And I think Luke, it's going to be the one that's going to be like the boost that they need. Your thoughts, Harry?
I could definitely see that. I definitely think that the Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker is coming this year for sure. And it's very possible that can be, a little bit later in the year, a couple months, few months, 4 months down the road, but it's absolutely coming. And as far as Bespin Luke, really, if they really wanted to blow us away, you're talking about, wow, they're really saturating the market with all these Mandalorians. Well, you know what? Who's the arguably, not for everybody, but for me, the greatest Star Wars character of all time besides Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. Go ahead and give me the Bespin Luke, and then also give me this Luke Skywalker, and I'll be spilling my coffee, baby. Look, they're realizing we're having a show. This is all we're talking about just because they gave us one Pedro Pascal head sculpt, and we already have all those other Mandalorians. Can you imagine if they dropped this? But here's something even better. What if they went ahead and gave us a Hoth Luke? Can you imagine all the channels, everybody going crazy in the community? Why did they do this? We were thinking Beskar Mandalorian and all this kind of stuff. Bring it to me, baby. They would get their own marketing, because I would certainly come right on. And then, you're coming out with all these blurgs. Give me a Tauntaun. Man, we'll see how the Tauntauns do. I know I don't collect vehicles and those things, but I'll collect the Tauntaun.
Desi, you are the artist here. So we have Luke from Return of the Jedi, right? Pretty much all we need. You just need to change the cape, maybe some tweaks here and there on the head sculpt. Call it for today. What do you think?
Yeah, that's more of a re-release than season 2 Mando, right? It's just hopefully we'll get some purrs, right? Or the rolling eyes on that Mando. I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, on that Luke, but that's an easy release. I've been saying it for a couple of months. I'm just surprised I haven't done it yet. But that does make good sense if they release it in Q4, especially around Christmas. Good pre-order money there for Hot Toys. A lot of people pre-ordering stuff. So yeah, makes sense. And then Bespin, of course, a Hoth Luke. Jesus, on a Tauntaun, man, that's what I'm waiting for.
I know.
You get a Hoth.
But Bespin Luke, yeah, I agree. I think we'll eventually get him. I think it's just common sense. Well, let me not say common sense. You would think you get Mando first because they capitalize on the excitement of the show,
right?
So you release that first, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know. But I do think that this guy here as well, it is a possibility. And I think Single Songwriting mentioned that the anniversary of Bespin of Empire Strikes Back, I believe, is 2023.
Yep.
Is that the anniversary for the Empire Strikes Back, guys? Next year? Is that next year?
It was released in 80, right? ESB. So
was it?
No,
or was it 83?
I think it was 81, or was it 80?
80 or 81. So 77. Yeah, 77, 80, 83, right? 3 years in between.
83 is Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Okay, so that was okay. So that's I wouldn't mind to have this one either, because this one technically would not be a reissue. This will be
must have totally different if they
like
go with
a
that
totally different release. Yeah, because the head sculpt is different. That right there is a huge difference, right? So that's a good thing. And Aries, I want you to share something that you shared in your podcast yesterday or the other day about the Hot Toys wizard called you and told you something about the Bad Batch. So can you please share with us that information so people who didn't catch that can know what's going on?
Sure. And you want me to talk about the other thing I mentioned, or we're waiting on that one?
Just throw it.
Just throw it out there.
Out there, yeah.
So listen, I got the inside source from my source in Hong Kong has told me that Hot Toys is planning it's on the docket to release Clone Force 99 and the rest of the Bad Batch figures. Now, I'm not surprised by this, because I'm looking at this upon further thought. It's not necessarily so much about the Bad Batch as it is about that time era, as it is about the Clone Wars, as it is about the prequels, as it is about the love for clones and the desire from the community for Wolf, for Bly, for Fox, for Gree. So, coming out with Wrecker and all of these here, to me, this is Bad Batch and Bad Batch right now. They are going to follow the money. As long as they can put out Echo, and that goes to number 1 or number 2, and stays there for weeks, and then stays up at the top 10. And as long as they can put out Hunter, and it can stay all the way up there as well, they're going to just continue to put that money in. As long as we continue to buy characters like Quill, you're going to see Casca Reeves, you're going to see Frog Lady, you're going to see, you know, these things until we stop buying it. And I'm telling you, I've been waiting for a long time for clones. This is really not a surprise to me. I don't care if the Bad Batch, doesn't do well at all or they don't renew it. They just, as long as we're going to buy these figures, they're going to put these out. I'm not surprised by that. That's kind of where I'm thinking, because I'm looking at it from the perspective of clones and also the deal that they probably have with Tamora Morrison.
Mm-hmm.
But I did confirm this with the Hot Toys Wizard, and he looked into his Palantir and did confirm that my source is correct. I'll hold on the other one. I'll stop there.
All right, Jesse, what do you think, my friend?
I would say I am pleasantly surprised. I am surprised. I didn't think that they would release the entire, Bad Batch crew, only because they've been known to leave us wanting the entire crew, right? With the exception of Mandalorian, which they've released so much from that show. But I'm pleasantly surprised because I definitely want the entire crew of the Bad Batch. So anything beyond the two that they've announced would be great for me. If they do the whole bunch, awesome.
Right. Yeah, and I can echo of what Aries said, because I did confirm this information as well. Not the Hot Toys Wizard, but my source that I have. So just to put it out
The sorcerer, Hot Toy sorcerer.
The Hot Toy sorcerer, yeah.
Well, that same source also told me, Dante, and I think maybe you confirmed this too with your source, that the Clone Wars General Kenobi is absolutely 100% coming. They had some issues with the head sculpt. Now, whether they're redoing it or it's more of they need to put some different paint apps on it and they're not totally, redoing the mold or whatnot, this is absolutely coming. And it's going to be a con or an event or perhaps a Toy Fair exclusive. So it can be any time between now and I think what is New York Toy Fair, like January, February of 2022.
Usually
so any
February.
Yeah. So anytime within the next 6 to 8 months, this is coming, and it would make sense to me even if it was New York Toy Fair, if I've got this right, in February, because I think that the Clone Wars Anakin is set to come out between January and March of this year. Maybe it could come, so right around that same time. That would make sense to me. It could come out earlier. It could come out this year. I've been thinking this was going to come out any minute, and it might. But I'm hearing from my source, again, take it with a grain of salt. It could be a false, but they're 100% doing this.
Yes. I don't think it's false. I actually confirmed this as well. They didn't tell me the date or anything like that. But I mean, the same source that told me about Din Djarin that's going to happen, and it happened. With the Heskel, right? Confirm this as well. I would not be surprised because they need to complete, they have Anakin already, so they need to have this one. They have already Ahsoka, they have a bunch of other Clone War figures, so it makes sense, perfect sense for them to release this, to finally announce and make it official with the official seal. So that's a good thing. In my opinion, I think it is a good thing. But the other figure that I was told as well that is going to be most likely an exclusive, Toy Fair exclusive, is obviously none other than Padme, right? Again, and I want to be absolutely clear. Hot Toys can change this anytime. I mean, they can just push it for, not just do anything on the Toy Fair exclusive and push it for later in the year, perhaps end of Q4, right? Areas to complete their numbers for the pre-orders. So that's a possibility as well. But we spoke about this before, and I think that if Hot Toys decide to pull the trigger with Padme, right? I think it's gonna open the door for other characters like what you mentioned before, Aries, Mace Windu, or maybe General Grievous, those characters that we would love to see, right? Which, technically, Windu shouldn't be that hard to make because they already have everything, right, Desi? They pretty much have the head sculpt. They can just pull the tailoring and call it for the day. We have a window. Um, but what do you think? Do you think if only if Hot Toys decide to release General Kenobi and Padme, we'll have I guess more chances to see maybe a Mace Windu or any other maybe prequel characters.
I think so. I mean, it'll at least tell us, hey, they're still doing prequel characters beyond those of the animated shows, right? So that'll be a step in the right direction. If you get a Padme, you get an Obi-Wan. It's like, okay, well, they're still interested in that time frame. So getting that Padme would be nice. Not only because you're getting Padme, but because of it shows that we might get a Mace. And at this point, like I said, they have everything for Mace. I'm thinking, is there an issue with like licensing, getting head sculpt approval? I know they already have one. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? What do you think, Aris? Do you think that could be a possibility if they finally decide to pull the trigger on Padme? We're probably gonna see Windu. We're probably gonna see all the characters that we eager and love to see.
To answer that other question, yeah, I'm talking about Toy Fair in February, not the New York Comic Con, although it could come out then. These insider information, it could be crossed up with one event or another. No, I actually think for them, I could actually see them doing a double whammy, and I could see two things. I could see them absolutely doing this Padme, and at the same time saying, "Here's Mace, by the way." Or, here's Padme and here's an Aayla Secura. Here's Padme and here's a Shakti. And, we talked about that Kit Fisto. And I agree that it would seem like, why would you come out with that first? And in a way, maybe if they did, because they already have the prototype of that Kit Fisto, that might say, you know what, we are going to come out with Plo Koon. We are going to come out with Aayla Secura. We are going to come out with Shakti. We are going to come out with Ki-Adi-Mundi. We are going to come out with these, because then you're going to start to think, right? Wow, if they're putting out this Kit Fisto, I guess that means that they're thinking about other things. I'd like to see them put out 2 prequels figures. Why don't you give us Mace and Padme at the same time, baby? And I'll have a whole pot of coffee and I'll spill it all over my head. Cold, of course.
Or Aris, or this guy.
Listen. I am telling you guys. Now, listen. I will admit, I mentioned him for fun, like far out thoughts. Like, okay, I'm going to tell you a figure they're never going to do. They will never do, Vice Admiral Haldo. Okay, so I don't bring up figures like that. They're not going to give you like some of those figures that there's just no way they're not going to give you Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru from the prequels. You're just not going. You're probably not going to see that. But this, while this seems like a stretch, look at the history of Jimmy Smits, and he is a prime candidate to be a co-star of an upcoming miniseries for sure, with everything that they're doing around this timeline. And if they do, I'm telling you, this is coming, baby, in the future. Come on.
Let's see.
Because of that.
Let's see if the Novi shows up here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the Novi?
Yeah.
It's just for fun. It seems unlikely.
We have Bill Organa. Actually, I'm gonna text the Novi right now. So, what do you think? What do you think, Desi? I think it will be fun to have his input on this one.
Look, I think this is cool. Yeah, of course I'd like a Bail Organa figure. I just don't think it's gonna happen. But you never know. Look, yeah, if he shows up as a supporting actor on the Obi-Wan show or on any show, then hey, everything's back on the table. Just like last week I was saying about Cad Bane. It's like, well, it's only if he shows up on a show, and I hadn't seen that yet. So,
well, that's the whole point. And really, with this, that's my whole point. And I know it was kind of like, okay, I know he's in Rogue One. I know he's in the animated series. I know he's in the prequels. So he's in a lot of stuff. But really, I think that the actor the character is a prime candidate for future Filoni and Favreau content, unless they don't get along or they don't sign him or there's a problem with the actor. I don't think so with Jimmy Smith's track record. I think he would pick up the phone like Samuel L. Jackson and say, sign me up, baby. Right. If that happens, I see this. Then that's my whole point with it. It's fun. It's fun to project.
No, it is. No, that was actually pretty fun. That's why I needed to bring this up, because I was laughing. You said,
now, if they do it tomorrow, what are you going to do? What you going to do, Dante? If they release this tomorrow,
I'm gonna put it on record, and this is gonna be the most dangerous thing I ever gonna do in my life. If they release Bail Organa, I'm just gonna shut down my channel, shut it down, and put a statement and say, guys, Aries won, Bail Organa is announced, so this is my farewell live stream. I'm out. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely insane if that happened.
Now, if that happens, Hot Toys definitely watches your channel and has it out against you.
I know, right? They said,
Howard Chad is taking notes. Say,
that Peruvian guy. Hold on. I'm
I'll show him unfiltered. Yeah,
he's out. He's out. No, but if that happens, forget it. I'm gonna be like, damn, Aries. I will call you. I will probably travel where you are in Philadelphia. I was, hey, Aries. Look.
You know what, Dante? On a serious note, you keep talking about Padme, and they have that there. What if they wanted to have a real shocking effect like this, and they actually change that a little bit, or make it a deluxe and actually give you Queen Amidala and make it like a DX? Ooh. What would you do waking up to that? Where I don't know how they would do that with already what they have, but if they changed it a little bit, that would be very exciting.
Like a DX type, I can actually, that would be awesome if they do it. That would be a very unique figure, right? And that would be more targeted to hardcore Star Wars fans, to be honest with you, because some collectors, some people that buy Hot Toys, they're not really collectors. Most of them are, but some of them they're not. They just wanna, they love the character, and when they see, for example, Iron Man, I'm gonna get this Iron Man, but they don't necessarily mean they're gonna collect Hot Toys. They just kind of like the character, right? So that would be more for hardcore fans. I will get it, absolutely. It's just
exclusive, a Toy Fair. Can you imagine Hot Toys actually doing that, though? The artistry, Desi. You'd probably thinking that through your head right now.
That would be amazing. That would be, definitely an order for me. Even my wife would want that. That's pretty cool.
I know.
So yeah.
And guys, I just have we're gonna leave the Third Party Fiesta for another episode because we expand a lot on this Din Djarin, but I just have a quick giveaway announcement to make. And as you guys may notice, I'm close to 5,000 subscribers, so I'm about 4,400 subscribers. So obviously thank you guys, because without you, obviously I will not be here. None of us will be here. But I'm gonna be giving a giveaway. I'm gonna be giving out a brand new Hot Toys for my 5,000 subscribers. So I don't know which figure it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a brand new Hot Toys. It could be Star Wars, it could be Marvel, it could be DC, but it's gonna be a brand new Hot Toys. So I'm gonna announce the rules. Obviously not through here, but I'm going to announce it on my Instagram page and also on my Facebook group, Six Skill Media. So if you're not a member of the group, by all means, please, you should consider become a member, because, we talk everything about Hot Toys, 1/6 scale figures. We share information. I sometimes, drop a bomb of something coming, so, you may want to join. And of course, you may also, if you haven't done that yet, subscribe to Aries' channel, because he is the man. He's the bartender himself. And we're gonna wrap it up. So Aries, I'm gonna continue with you. So what are the plans for the channel for the next upcoming days?
Well, thanks a lot, Dante. It's always a pleasure being here, and great to be on here with Desi. We got a live episode coming this Sunday. Aries Tarrington is live and raw. Ooh. So go ahead and book that on your calendars for this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I will be live and raw, baby. I'll be talking more I'll be spilling more coffee about this chrome-plated Mandalorian. And you have to wonder, will I be bringing up more coffee spilling, crazy, outrageous, possible future Hot Toys announcements? And I say yes. That's what's going on, baby.
Ooh, can't wait. Desi, what's going on with you, my friend?
Well, always a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Dante and Aries. Always a pleasure, like I said. And what's going on with me is I'm working on a lot of dioramas all the time, which I love to do. So I've got, I'm pretty booked at the minute, actually through the rest of the year, but I'm still taking orders. People are still placing orders. So, hey, check me out on my Instagram account, Metamorphic Customs, and or on Facebook. Like I always say, Google it, you'll find it.
Yes, Google it, you'll find it. What we have for the channel is episode 2 of 6 Scale and Filter is coming very soon, and the topic is gonna be reissues. And we're just gonna tell it like it is. I think we needed to have a show where we can just discuss, share the information, and tell you the truth of what's going on. You know, you don't have to always agree with us. The purpose of those shows is just to share, not to impose our opinions, because by all means, we don't like to do that, right? Others can do it, I don't. You know, if you don't like it, you don't like it. Simple as that. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for being tonight with the show. Aries, Desi, always a pleasure having you guys. I want to thank everyone on the chat who participated, sending the messages, always, you know, supporting me, and I really appreciate that. I'm gonna be giving the information about the giveaway very soon, so stay tuned for that for the 5,000 subscribers. So that's it. That's it from me, guys. Thank you so much again, and remember, be well, and see you around in the next video. Have a good night, everyone.
Take it easy.